Before starting this video, I'd like to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, gizmoddict.com. These guys have one of the best 2.5D curved tempered glasses in India. Their tempered glasses actually have 2.5D curved edges, which no other glass does in the Indian market. So if you guys want the best glass for your phone, do check out gizmoddict.com, especially for the Redmi Note 8 and the Note 8 Pro, and use the promo code GIZMO for 10% discount. Hey guys, gizmoddict here, and today's video is going to be pretty interesting because we're going to compare the cameras of the Redmi Note 8 and the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now naturally you guys would think that of course the Redmi Note 8 Pro's camera is going to be better than the Note 8. You've got the better sensor here, this phone is more expensive, etc, etc. But then maybe that's not the case because the Redmi Note 8 actually gets Google camera support because of the Snapdragon chip, and because the Note 8 Pro runs on the MediaTek chip, there is no support for Google camera as of now. So today we're going to compare Google camera samples from the Redmi Note 8 with the stock camera samples of the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and we'll see if the Note 8 can actually beat the Note 8 Pro or not. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with this video. And if you guys don't want to miss out such videos in the future, then please press the red subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Okay, so if we talk about the sensors on both of these phones, the Redmi Note 8 has the 48 megapixel Samsung sensor and the Redmi Note 8 Pro has the 64 megapixel Samsung sensor. Apart from that, if we talk about the other three sensors, you've got the same wide angle lens, you've got the same macro lens, and you've also got the same depth sensor. So apart from the primary sensor, all of the other sensors are the same on the rear facing camera. And now let's move on to the samples. So like I said before, we're gonna see Google camera on the Redmi Note 8 and stock camera on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So as you can see here in broad daylight, I feel the dynamic range is better on the Redmi Note 8 than on the Note 8 Pro. The Note 8 Pro has a couple of problems. First of all, the Note 8 Pro for some reason crushes the shadows in comparison to the Redmi Note 8. I've complained about this in some other previous camera comparisons as well, and the Note 8 Pro photos are actually very contrasty and a lot of times it does crush the shadows. And then in some other pictures it actually does blow out the highlights as well. So highlights are these bright parts in the images, and the Redmi Note 8 Pro, as you can see, does blow it out in comparison to the Redmi Note 8. So dynamic range definitely is better on the Redmi Note 8 as compared to the Redmi Note 8 Pro. But then if I talk about the detailing, I like the detailing better on the Note 8 Pro. That 64 megapixel sensor is taking photos at 16 megapixel in normal mode, and it still has more details than GCam Samples on the Note 8. In terms of detailing, I like the Note 8 Pro, but then if you see the dynamic range and all of those things, the Redmi Note 8 with GCam does better. But here as of now, I don't see that big of a difference, and both of these phones are doing very well. Then we move on to the indoor conditions, and here the Redmi Note 8 actually has more details in a lot of photos than the Note 8 Pro. Maybe the Redmi Note 8 Pro is doing some aggressive noise reduction, and because of that the detailing is now less in indoor lighting conditions as compared to the outdoor lighting conditions. So I'm zooming into a couple of photos and you can see that the Note 8 does retain a little bit more details as compared to the Note 8 Pro. It does have a bit more noise as well, but then still the Note 8 has more details. And even if we talk about once again the colors, the dynamic range, they are better on the Note 8 as compared to the Note 8 Pro. So yeah, so far the Note 8 is doing a pretty good job and it's keeping up with the Note 8 Pro quite well. Then we move on to the low lighting conditions, and here's where you see a major difference because you've got night mode on the Note 8 Pro and you've got night sight with Google camera on the Redmi Note 8. Here the Redmi Note 8 photos have a lot more details. If you zoom into any photo, the Note 8 photos have more detailing as compared to the Note 8 Pro. It gets in a lot more light. So as you can see in a lot of these photos, you don't even see the grass properly in the Note 8 Pro, but the Note 8 gets it quite well. So yeah, the Note 8 gets in a lot more light as compared to the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and that's amazing considering that this phone is costing only 10,000 rupees. There is one downside to this though, and that is that it blows out the highlights a lot in night sight. So if there is like a really strong light source in the image, the Note 8 kind of blows it out as you can see, but overall if we see the image, I think a lot of you guys would prefer the Note 8 image as compared to the Note 8 Pro. It definitely takes the lead in low lighting conditions. A couple of other areas where the Redmi Note 8 is better than the Redmi Note 8 Pro is rear facing camera portraits. I'm showing you the portraits from GCam on the Note 8 and on the stock camera on the Note 8 Pro. And as you can see, the dynamic range, the skin tones, the colors, they are a lot better on Google camera photos as compared to the stock Note 8 Pro photos. Xiaomi really needs to work on their image processing because clearly here the Note 8 with Google camera is doing a much better job. So once again, rear facing camera portraits, I'm gonna hand it over to the Redmi Note 8, and that is the same case with selfies. The selfies also on the Redmi Note 8 Pro are not that nice. They seem a bit faded sometimes, or they are a bit too contrasty, or the background is blown out a lot. This is a common problem in almost every Xiaomi phone. When you turn on the portrait mode, it does blow out everything in the background and the photo looks very overexposed. That is not the case once again on the Note 8 with Google camera. Here the dynamic range is insanely good. You've also got a pretty good blur and the skin tones are definitely much better. It's clearly better here, as you can see, and anyone would pick Note 8 with Google camera pictures as compared to the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So yeah, clearly if you're going to compare the cameras on both of these phones with Google camera on the Note 8, the Redmi Note 8 can outperform the Redmi Note 8 Pro, especially in terms of selfies, rear facing camera, portrait mode, low light and in indoor conditions. So as of now, I personally do feel that the Redmi Note 8 with GCam is a better option than the Redmi Note 8 Pro. If you guys don't remember, 6 months back I did a similar video with the Redmi Note 7 and the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The Note 7 Pro at that time didn't have a proper GCam and the Note 7's camera was better than Note 7 Pro. So the history is repeating itself right now, because as of now I feel the Note 8 with GCam outperforms the Note 8 Pro. But then the chances of Google camera coming to the Note 8 Pro are also very slim. So you can wait for it before taking a decision, but as of now the Note 8 with GCam will perform better. It's quite surprising that for a phone that is costing only 10,000 rupees, the Note 8's camera is that good. Anyways, now that we've seen GCam comparison, I'll show you guys some other comparisons as well. We'll compare the stock cameras on both of them now. I'm going to quickly go through these images. I'm not going to dive deep into them because in stock camera, in majority of the cases, the Note 8 Pro is obviously better than the Redmi Note 8. Note 8 Pro has more detailing in almost every image. The dynamic range is actually better on the Note 8 Pro in a lot of these photos, and the Note 8 Pro also has less noise as compared to the Redmi Note 8. The stock camera performance is not that great on the Redmi Note 8. Even the white balance is better on the Note 8 Pro in the indoor conditions. So when you're comparing the primary sensor with stock cameras on both of these phones, obviously the Note 8 Pro is kind of better than the Redmi Note 8. And if we talk about some other things like the wide angle lens and the macro lens performance, they're literally the same sensors. So the performance more or less is the same. If we talk about the video recording, both of these phones can do 4K 30, 1080p 60. So I'm showing you a couple of video samples right now. So do let me know which video did you like. Did you prefer the Note 8, the Note 8 Pro, or the output was similar? So yeah, basically that's the comparison between the Redmi Note 8 Pro and the Redmi Note 8 when it comes to camera. I think the Google camera is a big advantage on the Redmi Note 8 because especially phones with Snapdragon 665 are very compatible with GCam. We have seen that on the Mi A3, we are seeing that on the Redmi Note 8, and unfortunately Note 8 Pro being a MediaTek processor, you don't get GCam here. I hope that some developer works on this and gets it out very soon, because only then you will be able to improve the camera performance on the Note 8 Pro. As of now, I don't think the camera is that great on this phone. Even the Mi A3 with GCam outperforms the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So do keep that in mind when you're buying the Redmi Note 8 Pro. The camera performance still is not as best as it can get. The Redmi Note 8 and the Mi A3 with Google camera can definitely outperform the Note 8 Pro. So yeah, that was the whole comparison between both of these phones. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then please let me know in the comments. Do let me know your thoughts. What do you prefer? Did you prefer the Note 8 Pro photos, or did you prefer the Note 8 photos with GCam? And also let me know, are you guys planning to buy the Note 8 or the Note 8 Pro? I'll give you guys some links in the description. You can go and buy the phone from there. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out on my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram page. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, I would request you to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna be back in the notifications very soon. Peace.